Nobody's gonna break my stride. No one's gonna slow me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. No one's gonna break my stride. Nobody's gonna slow me down. Oh no, I've got to keep on moving. Yes, my beautiful people. In continuing with the Prime Minister's speech, people, I want to book me right, Me say me write until all the pen them, they hear me the pencil them ever go sharpen them. And about 3 or so pencils I had, you know. Wow. Prime Minister Andrew says, our party, the Holness-led party at the Holness administration-led party, sympathize. There's a difference between sympathizing and empathy, you know. And he said he empathizes with the financially struggling Jamaicans. Beautiful people. He says, the cupboard is empty. I don't want to mix up a lot of the things, and that he has to grow the proverbial pie. I'm wondering if he's talking about that little pie that Heathcliff, took like 95% and left 5% for it to be shared. This time, based on how he spoke, it's going to be like 100% being shared equitably and fairly. I feel Malcolm Gladwell's book, David and Goliath, coming into the fore. You understand me? But he says, let me caution you, and he's using the Joseph's principles, or the Joseph's principle. He has to put aside and create buffer, or we are going to have problems. I will agree with that. One of the most sad things with many of us here in Jamaica is that we were not taught financial literacy. We were not taught stewardship. And a part of stewardship is, yes, budgeting. That is only a part of it. But it is bringing in increase and sustainability. Unfortunately, and that is why many people end up live above their means, because, I guess they want to follow the status quo. They feel like that's the only way they will get some recognition, if they look good and come off as though they are people with money, with the wherewithal, when it is, really not so. So he has to plan, because he's a man with a plan. And he had the seeds, that acronym, I didn't even remember, but it's something about technology and environment and, monies and all of that. And he just mentioned, as I said, a few little times, compensation review. Never went into it because because his colleague had already spoken on the whole compensation review. I noticed while you were doing your visual charts, because, Jamaicans are very visual oriented, let me call it that way. I saw the fleet of JCF vehicles and motorcycles. I hope it will be shared up equitably across divisions, across the areas, and that beautiful. You said in 2019 you had established a commission for violence and prevention and set up, a certain accountability framework, and that it is a part of you, we bearing fruit, but we can't just bear fruit. We have to bear much fruit. Because the reality is, and I'm segueing into our crime and our violence, you said it is now a systemic threat to the proper functioning of the state law here in Jamaica. Then, if it is a systemic threat, what then is your strategy? As you cannot allow the criminals, sir, to rule and reign. That's serious. If it is a systemic threat, people, what it is saying, it is now embedded in our culture. It is now a part of our culture and the different subcultural practices in the different subsectors of our Jamaican society. So, sorry, what is the strategy you have to? You can't make the criminals them rule and reign. It cannot make the criminal. Years ago, I read a book that some foreigner came to Jamaica and wrote about Born for Dead, and how it spoke, based on how the book was written, it seemed as if the seeds were planted that kind of aided in this now becoming a systemic threat to the proper functioning of the state law. My goodness gracious me. That's frightening in us, people. Systemic threat. I hope it is not meaning that you guys can control the criminals, and the criminals them are controlling, I hope that's not because that's serious. So you have to have a very crafty plan. I hope what the book says is not true. That Born for Dead book, I really and truly, I want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, because it means that you guys, when I say you guys, plural, I don't want nobody say I'm speaking about your specific government, whether it is JLP or PNP, or OPP, or A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whichever one, that you are marrying these criminals. And when I say marrying, I'm talking about laying in bed. And, I'm using that metaphor or, for to make a point that it's not a symbiotic relationship between criminals and the state law. I hope the spiritual wickedness in high places don't relate to you people, and plural you again, whether it's LP, PMP, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. I just found, though, Prime Minister, that you did a lot of generalizations. At some point, I couldn't understand and follow what you were saying. Like, you came with a lot of hypotheses and theories and definitions or quotes. I can understand that you didn't want to talk out of turn and make promises that you can't keep, because that's one of the worst things in life is when we do that. We're all guilty of that sometimes. Make promises that we can't keep. The great Les Brown said when he had borrowed money, he could not pay back. Many of us have fallen in different situations. So I can't knock anybody because none of us are perfect, where that is concerned. But boy, for many, many years, it's not like you guys not getting aids and grants and loans and money some way or the other, Just ensure that it's not a Heathcliff mentality, the proverbial pie, as you spoke about, sir. That this time the 100% pie will be equitably shared. So give the public sector workers an opportunity to be able to pay that minimum increase that is going to happen in June, you said. You barely get a little touch up on the pensioners. You touch it up a little bit. That's a touch up. What can I say? What do I say? Even the housing, as I said, I hope it's not in Mississippi or Okeechobee, all the way in Timbuktu. Yes, you move from 7.5 to 8.5 if it's a single person. You can get up to that, or all the way up to 20 something, 20 little bit, 20 early 20s if it's co-applicants. But you made something that is even scary, and I have to talk on it. You're saying that if you guys weren't proactive, even in a sense reactive, via SOEs, crime, in particular murder, would be 300 times higher. Sir, that's a frightening. It means that our criminals are run within all of we. The criminals are run all of we. That's what it is saying to me, Because what you're saying that is only SOEs, that cannot be an effective crime plan, sir. SOEs just have the soldier, the police, them out there, scan this and scan that. If you rub butt against puss more too long, it'll go bite at it. Lord. Sir, it's serious. This has passed then an epidemic. Has gone to a pandemic stage. That is it. Sir, it's not only just a little subsection of our Jamaica, which would be, you'd liken that onto an epidemic. It is now the entire Jamaica now. So no, that is a pandemic on our land, sir. Lord, you even said that they're like termites eaten away at institutions. But you said the JLP will radam the criminal gangs. Make sure that you radam them genuinely and sincerely, and that they won't get up and say, but me know this one here, me and him just drink tea last night. Me know she over there, so because me and her, yeah. I said, ensure. Because I don't want a case when they say that you will radam the criminal gangs and they just laugh. I don't want it to be like a child who the parent doesn't hold him or her accountable, and then when she's in crowd, she wants to act now like the mother, the judge, juror, and the executioner. The picnic are just laugh at her and continue the disrespect and the disregard. Yes. Yes, sir. So ensure that your hands, when I say your plural, your, because I don't want people to say I'm calling anybody anything. Anybody at all, hands are clean as a whistle. What I want you to do, sir, is to radam poor salaries. I want you to radam low wages. I want you to radam no benefits. I want you to radam inequities, especially for public servants. They try, they give up their best. Yes, you have the wayward ones. In life, that's life. But I want to think that people really want to do their jobs well. In life, I'm going to give people the benefit of the doubt. You want us to give you the benefit of the doubt. You want us to work with you and to understand you because you mean us well. You said you mean us well, You were empathizing. You said it on me and you. So radam inequities. Radam poor salaries. Radam no benefits, especially for contract workers that have not moved from contract to permanent. Guys, follow me on TikTok and I'm going to do another part. Subscribe to my YouTube channel.